beginning of the ages. Since the creation of humankind, men always tried to dominate light. To finally arrive to the cinema.
Hey, my name is Quentin.
Hey, my name is Lorenzo.
As you can see, we're in the cinema, and you may ask why. Well, follow us.
Cinema isn't qualified as seventh art for no reason. Indeed, it deserved its place so well that it became the most popular activity of our century. But what is cinema? Let's see.
In 1891, Thomas Edison, an American inventor, created a device able to take a succession of pictures and make them move to create a movement effect, the kinetograph. The problem was you couldn't project the pictures taken, but in 1895, the Lumière brothers invented a new machine which could, thanks to a light process, project a film. It was called the cinematograph, and it was the creation of the cinema.
From this day, lots of things changed. Silence became speech and black and white changed to colors. All these changes were received with distrust because some people thought films would focus more on the dialogues and not on the aesthetic aspect anymore. But they were wrong. It gave birth to blockbusters and to a lot of new things. The kinetoscope isn't anymore what it used to be.
But first of all, the cinema is used at the time to report historical facts. The methods of filming used at the time were precarious compared to what we have nowadays.
Historical films were common, and they didn't need a lot of equipment, especially light devices. But it was the beginning of a long, long story.
At the very beginning, cinema quickly became a popular entertainment. People, after their job, went to cinema's rooms. The movies which were diffused were short and were intended to inform the public. Mussolini would say later that cinema is the strongest weapon. So that was the best way to diffuse propaganda. Film directors didn't need important means and lighting devices.
But it wasn't only at the beginning of the cinema that films were shot at daylight. Stanley Kubrick will play with this aspect of the cinema to release in 1975 Barry Lyndon, a film shot without lighting devices, and in which we can find a scene filmed entirely in candlelight, in which Kubrick had to use another camera to catch as much light as he could.
So cinema's main goal wasn't the use of light at its creation, but with time, all this all changed.
Because of the evolving techniques, film directors turned towards the light and lighting devices. This question in mind how to use light properly, to finally made it an essential part of the seventh art.
Film directors turned towards studios to avoid meteorologic problems. Using a main powerful lighting device and some extra sources, they can sculpt the scene while leaving a realistic impression. In this way, they can create daylight shotted scene as well as night scene by simply changing the lighting. With such mastery of light, they can allow themselves to play with it, to create shapes and make the scene more mysterious, or, like in Scarface, released in 1932, make the decor react with the lighting to create a crosses pattern that appears during all the film. In this way, some scenes are entirely shotted with this use of light, like in the scene of Citizen Kane where beams are really visible. But still now, this process is used. In Skyfall, released in 2012, the film director lighted just the eyes of Bond or changes characters into shadows to make them more mystical.
So we can see that the relation between light and cinema became narrower since its creation. At the top of that, light is used for special effects, but in most of contemporary Hollywood movies, like Avatar, released in 2009, and which is one of the most successful movies of the seventh art. Or more recently, in the Hobbit trilogy, in which the majority of the films are shot with green screen to add a virtual setting at the end. Cinema couldn't exist without light. In addition to a lighting restriction to obtain a picture, light sets and special effects are possible only because of extra lighting devices. And in a society where people are searching for new sensations, the best way to satisfy them is to let them escape our world with cinema by those ways.
Cinema has well evolved since a few years. Nature became studios and candles became projectors. Film directors now own technical devices developed enough to handle light as they want.
Since 128 years, cinema continues to surprise us, and I'm sure it prepares even more things unbelievable. So that's it of this episode of Stories of History. Thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.